Saturday here on NBC. Second down and 17. And the delay gets some of the loss back, and Reuben Carter made the tackle. The Bears have won. Right? The Bears have won the sudden death game against the Giants, so they'll be coming here. They'll be coming here to take on the Dallas Cowboys a week from tomorrow.
12-9 overtime. Chicago Bears on a field goal, winning it.
So the Redskins are out of the picture. The Bears 12, the Giants 9. The Bears will play here. Boy, a lot of things happening. Third down and 13. Staubach is 4 out of 4, 50 yards, 1 touchdown. He's throwing for the 5th time, and he is 5 out of 5. And what a big hit. Tony Dorsett was out there to catch the ball, and Tom Jackson made him pay.
The linebackers for Denver so quick. Now, Jackson is really fast. He was off that receiver, but he is so quick that even after the ball is thrown, he's able to come back and get involved in the play. You see right here, and he really lays a hit on him. This Denver Bronco team, they are a physical football team.
Charlie Waters will hold it. Efren Herrera, who is 18 out of 26 for the year, will attempt a field goal of 38 yards. That's well within his range. He'll try to make it 10-0. He booted one 52 yards earlier this year. Capen Saba, no good. It's off to the left. Off to the left, and it remains 7-0, and the Broncos will take over at the line of scrimmage and get the ball for the second time here in the first quarter with 5:04 remaining. Number 1 is Efren Herrera. He's from Mexico, played at UCLA, just missed the field goal. And here is the Broncos with the ball for the second time, and a new quarterback in there, Craig Penrose. And the running play gets only a few, and we might have seen the last of Craig Morton for the afternoon.
I would say so, because he got hit on a blitz. He has been injured. They didn't want to take any chances. They want him ready for next Saturday against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mile High Stadium. They're going to go crazy up there next Saturday.
The only thing we don't know now about the playoffs is whether it's going to be Baltimore or Miami hosting the wild card team, Oakland. There's Craig Morton along the sideline. It's Craig Penrose, second-year man, third year now from San Diego State, going all alone. He's got his man out there. Did he drop that ball? I took my eyes off him. I can't believe he dropped it.
I'll tell you why he dropped it. He had his hands turned the wrong way when he's trying to make the catch. Instead of having the ball cupping into his hand, he goes over the ball. You take a look at it right here. His hands are right there, and he slams it down, hits his knee, he loses it. If he had his hands turned the other way, he would have caught the football.
How in the world did he drop that one?
That's what he's asking himself right now, and Penrose is asking the same question. He's asking, I saw how. Yeah, well, you want to know why.
Penrose is 0 for 1 as a result of that. It's 3rd and 6. Mark Washington and Randy Hughes are in there. They're playing right in a streak of light that comes through this open roof stadium. It's 3rd and 6. That's the reason you're having a little difficulty with your picture, and we are too. Penrose ran the option and tossed it out here. And the big hit was made on Lonnie Perrin just before he got to the first down marker.
That's why number 7 is not in the football game. If they had any aspirations of running that play, that is the option play, and the option for Dallas is to tear Penrose's head right off his shoulders when he comes down the line of scrimmage.
We're also very likely to see Norris Weiss, the other Denver quarterback here today. You can see that streak of sunlight running across the playing field. The Broncos are right at the edge of it right now. They haven't made a first down, and they're going to have to kick it away with Bucky Dilts doing the honors and Tony Hill back waiting for it. Dilts made the all-rookie squad, which was announced last year as the punter. Average of 39.4 with a 63-yard kick, his longest of the year. Not too high. The coverage won't be too good. And there goes Tony Hill across the 45 in midfield. He is down to the 35, 36-yard line of the Cowboys, and Randy Podol kept him from going any further with 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. It's all Cowboys. They have the ball. They get it for the third time. They're ahead 7-0. Make those miracles happen. These words by John Keyworth, number 32. He is the fellow that you hear when we go into the commercials. He recorded that song, Make Those Miracles Happen. And don't forget Sports World, premiering on the 22nd of January here on NBC. Nothing doing.
Six orange shirts over there, and I said before, trying to go wide on the Denver Broncos is very tough, even with the speed of Tony Dorsett.
Edishar was there defensively. A word from the Denver bench that Craig Morton, who has a bruised hip, was hit on the hip. They're not certain whether or not he'll return.
What do you think?
I don't think we'll see any more of them, because I talked to Red Miller before the game. He said, I win the game and lose 5 players, then where am I? Here's the final. The Eagles with a blanking of the New York Jets by the score of 27-0. So the Eagles win their 5th game of the year. And there's that Houston final again. We welcome the Houston-Cincinnati viewers. Houston knocked the Bengals out of the playoffs. Butch Johnson is a wide receiver, faking by Staubach, and the pass incomplete and off the hands of Billy Joe Dupree. The Denver toughening up on this Dallas possession.
They've got to get pressure on Roger Staubach.
This game went in overtime, and finally on a field goal by Bob Thomas at 27 yards, the Bears got into the playoffs the first time since 1963, and they deserve it, Lenny. They're 9-5.
Well, it's too bad that they had to play under the conditions they played under today, because Walter Payton really didn't have a chance.
How about your friend Hank Stram at New Orleans? He's in a little trouble.
Things are, I think, their owner, Mr. John Meekum, is starting to say some things down there, and not very complimentary things.
And they roared here in Dallas when they put up that Tampa Bay.
I'm going to ask you about St. Louis and their situation
over the Cardinals. Here's 3rd down and 5. Staubach running for it, and did not get it. Roger hasn't run as much this year, and he's slowed down a little bit. He's 35 years old after all, and he couldn't get away from Tom Jackson. He ran out of that shotgun, and we'll watch it.
Talking about the linebackers once again, that is the heart, really, I think, of the Denver Bronco defense because of the great speed. Now, here's Roger. Ordinarily, if he's playing against a linebacker that doesn't have the great speed that Broncos have. 57 is Jackson. He came up and made that play. Now, Roger is an excellent runner.
And Rizzo chased him right into the arms of Jackson. So it's 4th down, and it is a long field goal attempt at 45 yards for Efren Herrera. He missed one earlier of 33 yards, but this is within his range. 45 yards. He thumped it, and it's no good again. It's off to the left. He's 0 for 2.
Yeah, same spot.
¿Qué pasa?
Yeah, the wind must be blowing that way. He's got a hook. He's got to turn his hand over a little bit, or his foot over, I should say.
Lenny, you were going to ask me about
I want to ask you about the Cardinal situation, St. Louis Cardinal situation with Don Coryell.
I'm convinced that he wants out. He's got a contract through 1980. I'm convinced he wants out, and everybody's guessing he's going to San Diego, where Prothro is going to step aside.
Why would he want to go to San Diego? Is that home for him, does he feel?
Well, there are a lot of reasons. His wife wants to live out there, and he doesn't like the Cardinal defensive unit. He doesn't think they're ready to win. So forth. So after the missed field goal, here's Penrose on a handoff, getting good yardage for one of the few times here in the early going of this game as John Keyworth.
Talking about our singer, yes.
Trying to make the miracle happen. He's a big kid, 6'3", 234. Well, next Saturday, we know what it's going to be, with the exception of Baltimore or Miami. We have a doubleheader here on NBC, and it's going to be the Denver Broncos taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Oakland visiting either at Baltimore or at Miami, in both games on NBC. Here's Penrose outside. Good timing on the pass play to Haven Moses, and that is good for the first Bronco first down.
Well, that was a good throw by Penrose, because that's the type of pass, although it's not that deep. It's about 5 yards deep, but it's wide, so you got to throw it about 35 yards. You better put something on it.
We saw him in the Senior Bowl on NBC, right?
Yes, sir. Speaking of Senior Bowl, NBC will also carry the Senior Bowl on the 7th of January. Mobile, Alabama.
All at the 40-yard line, a Bronco first down. Fake to Keyworth, pass over the middle, and it's picked off by Bob Brunig. And a Cowboy possession at the 35-yard line. And whereas Penrose made one perfect throw to Moses, this was a lousy throw.
Well, he didn't locate 53, and they're talking about Brunig, and you can see how happy linebackers are. Here we have him. 53 is Brunig. Middle linebacker, dropping back. He's watching the quarterback right now. And here's the ball thrown right to him, and that meant that Penrose did not see Bob Brunig, number 53. Now he's off and running. He's not utilizing that great ability to run like Tony Dorsett.
That's his first interception of the year.
No wonder he was so happy.
And for the Cowboys, that was their 21st of the year. Staubach is in there again. So the Cowboys aren't holding back at all, are they? Good tackling by Denver on Dorsett. You had seen Jay Staldy in motion
That's the point
earlier.
about Denver. They're an excellent tackling football team. When they get to the ball carrier, they generally make the tackle, and with some authority. You're talking about number 57, Tom Jackson.
Yeah, that's the thing about Dorsett. He's going to have difficulty because frequently he breaks that tackle at the line of scrimmage. But against these guys, it doesn't happen very often. Oakland jumps ahead of Kansas City 3-0 in the first quarter. Errol Mann with a field goal, 31 yards. Dorsett, 6 carries, 19 yards, 26 yards short of 1,000. San Diego's ahead of the Steelers 6-0, but that doesn't matter. Cleveland's ahead of Seattle 6-0. That doesn't matter either. 2nd and 9. Screen pass. And it was penetrated. Good defensive work by Carter and Alzado. Was intended for Dorsett, and right in the middle was Bryson Manor, the defensive lineman, number 66.
Well, what happened there? They had pressure on Roger Staubach. It was a screen pass, but Roger had to get rid of the ball before he wanted to. So consequently, it didn't operate. The screen pass didn't materialize. 44, you can see, is Robert Newhouse. He's trying to slip through there, but there's a lot of pressure on him right there. He wants to get rid of the football, but also number 68, Reuben Carter, read that. He knew that the guy wasn't trying to block him, so he knew that they were going to either draw or screen.
We're operating in that sunny area of the playing field. It is 3rd down and 9. Dorsett and Pearson are in the backfield. Staubach throwing long, and he gets the first down to Dupree inside the 20-yard line, and Roger is hot.
Well, I'll tell you what Roger had that time. He had a lot of time to throw the football. You got to give credit to that offensive line. 3 men rushing the passer. They didn't blitz a linebacker that time. I'm sure they wish they had, but he had plenty of time to throw it, and he really drilled it.
They had a scoreless first quarter, but now New England goes ahead of Baltimore 7-0, and a New England victory would, of course, put Miami in the playoffs and against Oakland.
Miami really has been an exciting football team this year.
They've made great progress. Grogan hit the tight end Russ Francis for 5 yards and a score. 14 minutes left in the half in that one. There's Newhouse down to the 15-yard line, picked up 3, and Barney Chavis got to him. And did you ever see a more enthusiastic football area than the Denver area these days?
They have waited so long. You know, they have had some teams that have really, in all truthfulness, been really terrible football teams. I know when we used to play them, that it'd be like a baseball player fattening up his average. You knew you were going to win, and a lot of times you'd win big. You knew you didn't have to play your best to defeat Denver, but that's not true now.
The first period has come to a close down here. On the right, Tom Landry. His team in the playoffs, 11 out of the last 12 years. They won the NFC East, 5 out of the last 8. And on the left, in the sweater with the headset, is Robert Red Miller. What a hard-working, enthusiastic guy he is.
Really tremendous. It's really great to see him. 17 years as an assistant coach.
First year as head coach and takes his team to the playoffs. It's 2nd down and 7 from the 15-yard line with the 2 tight ends, Dupree and Saldi. And they give to Dorsett. He was trying to follow Herb Scott, but Scott couldn't clear anybody out. The hit was made, and it'll be 3rd down and long. Barney Chavis, Bill Thompson combined on the tackle.
I want to watch about Denver. Really the great thing about them, watch the inside pursuit. When a man is going, say, to the right, you can see that the players are really pursuing exceptionally well, and they surround that ball carrier. Now, Dorsett had no room whatsoever to move on that play.
You told me that you know Chavis pretty well, number 79.
Well, yeah, I've met him personally. Mile High Stadium a few times. He tried to bury me out there one afternoon.
Golden Richards is in the lineup for the Cowboys with Dorsett and Preston Pearson in the backfield. 3rd down and 7. Staubach did not get a first down. Tackled by Lyle Alzado. Another of the Pro Bowlers cavorting out on this field. And I bet that Landry's holding his breath every time Staubach goes down.
I would start getting somebody warmed up because Roger does make an excellent move to get any yardage whatsoever. Because, as I said, the pursuit comes once you make a decision to go, and he goes right by 68 Reuben Carter, which is a very good move on Roger's part. A better move is right there.
In front of Gradishar and under Alzado.
Hit the turf.
Now Herrera is missed from 35 and 45, and this will be 28 yards. No good. He He's 0 for 3. What's going on
He
down there?
overcompensated for the hook, and he sliced it.
So it's still 7-0, 13:29 remaining in the half. What's happening here? The Broncos take over on the 20-yard line with Craig Penrose running the club. He throws to his tight end, Riley Odoms. Odoms had outrun Tom Henderson, the linebacker. Help came in the form of the all-pro safety Charlie Waters, but Odoms couldn't latch onto it.
They're trying things differently right now. I thought that they would go back to a running game because they have not had good field position the entire first part of the game.
Here comes another quarterback for the Broncos. Penrose comes out, and Norris Weiss, W-E-E-S-E, third-year man from Mississippi, checks
you
in.
can
He's
expect,
6'1", 193.
expect anything from him, from an option play to a shotgun or a short punt formation.
He's an option quarterback. It's 2nd down and 10. And he's looking for the run. Over. And he got a first down. That kid is really strong, isn't he? Well, that's fun to watch in the pros. He's 6'1", 193. And Weiss just came in to run the one play, get a first down, and go take
This
the
was
rest.
run all the way, and he's going back in the pocket, trying to get the defensive line to commit themselves inside. Now he's pumping the ball up in the air, but he's not going to throw the thing. He's going to run.
Lenny, you know what's happening here as Larry Cole makes that tackle? What's happening here is both teams are trying to, especially Denver, they're trying to confuse Dallas with regard to a potential Super Bowl date.
That could be, and they're going to probably show some things that they probably won't ordinarily use in the playoffs.
Here is Penrose at the quarterback spot. Handing off to his big running back, Jim Jensen, who used to play here for Dallas. Jensen, who played at Iowa, wants to show the Cowboys today, if he has the chance, that he should have stayed here.
Well, I'm sure he's very happy to be where he is.
He ended up in the right spot. He was disappointed when he left, but ended up with a winner, so that's what this game is all about.
What I was talking about, what we were both talking about with the new things that both teams may show, and what they're probably trying to do is that when the opponent next Saturday, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
There's in the white shirt, Babe Perilli, who works with the quarterbacks primarily for the Broncos.
But the defense has to defense to get something. The more things that you spend time on, the less proficient you're going to be.
From the 41, taken by Penrose, and he airs it out for Upchurch. Upchurch is covered by the cornerback, Aaron Kyle. A flag is down. Randy White was in on top of Penrose, and somebody dealt him a tough blow.
Oh, he really took a lick that time. Just as he released the football, nothing he could do about it. In a very awkward position, he got nailed.
Now, the referee is marking. I tell you, now, I don't agree with this call, to tell you the truth, but I may change my mind.
That's because you never played quarterback in Drew Watts. You take a look, because that's what they're saying. Here comes Randy White. There the ball goes. Yeah, it's a...
Oh, he threw an elbow at him. That's why they threw the flag. When you see that again, you'll see that he unloaded
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 54, first down.
Okay, I agree with it now.
Now the next thing,
he hit him above the shoulder. Watch it here.
Now the next thing, because of the crackdown of hitting people above the shoulders, they are sending them to the sidelines. You'd eliminate all that. If they'd have sent him to the sidelines, you would have eliminated that.
You throw him out of the game?
That's exactly what I mean. He didn't have to do that.
It's a first down at the 44-yard line. There's the screen pass out here to Keyworth. And he drives inside the 45-yard line for a few yards, and the last hitter was Tom Henderson, number 56. I agree with you, Lenny, not on that particular play specifically, but I think a lot more of these players ought to be run out of the game, and that would stop it right now.
That's right. He didn't have to throw an elbow because he had a clean shot to use the shoulder pads on the quarterback, Weiss, and he was going to do just as much damage by using those shoulder pads as you would by throwing an elbow. Because when you throw an elbow, you're generally going to hit the headgear, which is hard, or something else.
We have Upchurch to the right. Haven Moses, the other wide receiver. A quick pop in there by Jim Jensen. And nothing doing. It'll be third down, and Harvey Martin cracked down and stopped that play. And as you look at Jensen, we can talk about Harvey Martin. 79, considered to be by most people as the best defensive end in the NFC.
Well, in particular, I think you should qualify different things, that he is probably the best at rushing the quarterback. He is obsessed with that. He set a record here in the Dallas Cowboys in sacks. He is a load.
Cowboys have 49 sacks, so they'll be going after Norris Weiss here on 3rd and 6. He throws to the sideline. A great effort was made out there by Jack Dalvin, but it is not enough for a first down. Mark Washington cracked him out of bounds.
Well, the fans are saying that he didn't have control of the football when he got out of.
But he was driven out by Washington. That's
right.
why it's complete, right?
That's correct. But they still don't agree with it.
They have a capacity crowd here of 61,000. And speaking of crowds, the Denver Broncos drew 528,000 people this year at home.
They sold all those tickets, and those people showed up.
And we have about 2,500 of the Denver Bronco fans who have made the trip down here to root for their team. Ron Egloff comes in, replacing Riley Odoms as the tight end. Norris Weiss goes to the sideline. Red Miller is the coach. There's Craig Penrose. And I don't think we're going to see Craig Morton, who was in for only one series. There he is, number 7 in your picture, back home here in Dallas. And what a great season Morton put together to help the Broncos win their division. We have 11:40 remaining in the half. And the Cowboys have the only score, 7-0. Monday, January 2nd. First the Rose Bowl, 4:30 Eastern Time, then the Orange Bowl, both on NBC. Bucky Dilts standing in the sunlight. Short hops the ball and gets off a pretty good kick, heading for the sideline, and he gets it. What a beautiful piece of work. He scooped up a bad snap, and he thumped it out of bounds at the 11-yard line.
Good decision. Now, there was some debate on the sideline as to whether to go for the first down or try to go for the first down or kick it. You can see Bucky Dilts, the rookie, kicking the football, and it goes out
at the 11.
Inside or in the 11, but there's a yellow thing that's floating around down on the
flag.
field now.
That's why Dilts is going back out there. And the referee will tell
the
us.
offense is going out there.
Well, we'll see. Let's wait and see. It's marked off against the Broncos. Make it 4th and long.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 85, offense, 4th down.
I saw number 14, which is a quarterback, Weiss, but he's also in on the punting team.
Gary Markbright is our referee and tells us that Dilts has to kick it over again, and the deep man is Tony Hill back at the 10.
You can see the up man shading his eyes, so when you're talking about the sunlight, that's what you're talking about. He's trying to see.
He kicked this one high, and there will be good coverage, and a fair catch is called for by Hill. He lets it go, and the Broncos are going to down it at the 5, so it turned out even better. And then one of the Dallas people picked it up before the whistle had blown and tried to run with it, which is rather dangerous to do. Podol had downed it, and then picking it up was Cliff Harris.
But see, that's a free ball. Once that the other team touches the ball, it's going to be down there. So even if he picked it up and ran and fumbled it, it'd still go back to that spot.
Until the whistle blew.
Right.
Now the ball is at the 5-yard line, and we have 11:21 remaining in the half. Cowboys have the ball. They lead 7-0. And Rogers still in there. Staubach. Set in Newhouse. Newhouse shifting, and so is Dupree going to a wing. Here comes Newhouse, and Dorsett missed his block. Tony Dorsett was trying to block the linebacker out, and he made contact but couldn't stay with him.
He's a great athlete. But one of the things that he really has to learn is how to help that other running back and block, because when he was in college at University of Pittsburgh, he ran the football all the time. That's one of the problems with so many outstanding running backs in college today. When they're carrying the ball 25 and 30 times, they're not blocking.
When you see these college kids come out having played the wishbone, they know how to block. But the kids who play the eye and the straight
the tailbacks, they don't get much practice.
Staubach is 6 out of 8, 73 yards, 1 touchdown. No gain on the last play, 2nd and 10. And Dorsett gets only a couple. And a stout defense led by Randy Gradishar brought the play to a roaring halt. A couple of players got tangled down there, but didn't lose their tempers.
Well, they were trying to, because Golden Richards wasn't too happy with Randy Podol stepping on his back after the play was over.
Podol is playing in place of Bernard Jackson. And Randy Rich has been inactivated or deactivated for the Broncos, along with Otis Armstrong. He'll not play today. Dorsett and Preston Pearson are in the backfield now on 3rd down and 8. Jethro Pugh is not active today for Dallas. Here's that option play that they ran against the 49ers, and it's short of a first down. It's a little toss by Staubach, They ran it against the 49ers last Monday night, the pitch to Pearson. But
well, you can call it
Jackson
the shuttle
stopped.
pass or whatever you want to call it. He just shuffles it up. You can see the guards coming out in front, pulling. Preston Pearson getting the ball. But I said once again, the great thing about this Denver team, you see number 57, and that's Jackson coming in once again, making a tackle. When they get there, they make it.
Lawless missed his block, and so the direction of the play had to change. And here's Danny White punting from the end zone. White has averaged 39 yards a kick and 57 in his longest. He's 8th in the NFC.
He better do something now because number 80 is Rick Upchurch back there, and he can fly.
His punt return average is 13.3. A whistle stopped the action, so White just didn't kick the ball.
It was down to 0. It could have been that they took too much time trying to get the play off.
You know, Upchurch delay a game against Dallas. Upchurch and a lot of people in Denver think that he should have made the Pro Bowl. Instead, it was Billy White Shoes Johnson of Houston who was named as the kick return man.
Delay of game, number 11, 4th down.
So White will have even less. There's Upchurch, and he is standing inside his 45 now, and he'll have the problem of the sunshine in fielding this ball. He better come up a little. White's not going to kick it 70 yards. That was the second Dallas penalty of the day. D.D. Lewis with a good snap. Well, that was a pretty good kick at that. He drives him back to the 43-yard line. Now watch this. Nope. Too many Cowboys.
Cannot go sideways. Can't go sideways on a punch. You've got to get upfield through that first wave.
It was led by Benny Barnes. The Broncos have the ball.
That's Ernie Stautner. I want to tell you in a minute about the thing that he taught me my very first year when I was a rookie with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
There's motion by the tight end, Odom. Here's the pass by Penrose, and it is caught by Jack Dalvin, who caught 21 during the first 13 games. Benny Barnes was covering. Tell us about Stautner. He looks like he's still wearing his shoulder pads.
He's in the Hall of Fame, you know. A great football player. He weighed 227 pounds when he was playing with Pittsburgh. But I can recall the first game at Pittsburgh, coming out to introduce the people in Old Forbes Field, and I was standing there looking around. He said, "Son, you better put your headgear on." I said, "Why? I'm not getting introduced." He said, "I'm not talking about the playing. It's these people up here above you." And I looked up, and all these cans kept coming down right next to my feet, and I understood what he meant.
A first down toss by Craig Penrose, who is 2 out of 5, and here he goes again. Over the middle, and incomplete. The receiver, Upchurch, seemed to go up a little bit too soon. He was coming down when the ball got to him. He was covered by Harris and Aaron
Well,
Kyle.
he shouldn't have been up in the air at all. Catch the football with your hands. He's jumping up in the air. When you're up in the air, you can't run with it. Catch it in your hands. If you catch it in your hands and it hits your hands and you still miss it, you might still have an opportunity to catch it. But when the ball's coming that hard and it hits your shoulder pads, it's all over.
You don't like the technique displayed
I
today?
do not. No, I don't. Because you know, the object is to catch the football no matter how, but there are better ways of doing it than others. When you're up in the air, you can't possibly run.
Second down and 10. Rob Lytle, number 41, is in the Denver backfield. And on a delay, he carries the ball. A flag goes down. And Lytle gets what will be a first down unless the penalty is against Denver. Cliff Harris, D.D. Lewis got to him and made the stop, and it's going to come back. Holding Broncos.
What I was talking about Upchurch, when you leave the ground, and even if you make the reception, then you can't make any moves until you hit the ground again. So don't leave the ground if you don't have to.
There was one guy that could run while he was in the air. That was Lance Allworth. He used to move his legs. He looked like he was going downfield in the air. But that's Upchurch, who has had a terrific year.
62, offense, 2nd down.
Tom Glassick, the guard, was caught with a hold. They'll run Upchurch occasionally out of the Denver backfield to confuse the defense. He goes to the left right now. Along with Avon Moses. And now a whistle. They want a different football. Mike Montler asked for a new football. He's flanked by Tom Glassick and Paul Howard, Andy Maurer, and Claudie Miner of the tackles. Happy to see a guy like Maurer who moved around with other clubs end up with a winner.
They probably threw that ball out because they might have had a lot of that stickum on there. It's tough to throw the football with that on.
Second down and 19. Penrose throws short to running back Lonnie Perrin, who was then tipped over by Tom Henderson, number 56. And a flag is down. Now we have a face mask, and that's against Denver.
They had the greatest field position they had all afternoon. Now they're going backwards with penalties.
Tony Lenhart has kicked a field goal of 28 yards for the Colts. With 5.5 left in the half, New England leads by the score of 7-3.
You just saw that Coach Phillips there sending in Jack Dolbin. He is alternating the plays with Upchurch.
Offense declined. Third down.
With Upchurch and Dolbin, they'll be bringing in the plays from the sidelines.
You know, the Broncos, Lenny Dawson, have not been a sensational offensive team this year,
they have not. I think they rank somewhere around 11th in the AFC. Defensively, they've been doing the job. But what they've been doing, really, is they haven't been committing mistakes offensively and turnovers. Only 8 interceptions for Morton, and that's tops in the AFC.
Dolbin is to the right side with Haven Moses on a wing on third down. And look out, Mr. Penrose. Ed Jones came roaring through there, and Too Tall was the first to go.
Hey, listen, there was a foot race back to the pocket. Who was going to get there the quickest? Too Tall Jones or the quarterback? You get in a situation with this Dallas team when you know that you're going to have to throw. They can really apply a lot of pressure. You see the crisscross between Cole and White, but there was no place for the quarterback to go.
And that is the second sack. That's the 51st of the year by the Cowboys. They got Morton earlier, and they just welcomed Mr. Penrose. There is Jethro Pugh along the sideline, who is not going to be playing today. Bucky Dilts is punting for the 4th time, and Tony Hill is the safety man at his 35. No rush, a high punt. That'll be well covered. It's tough to field a punt from a left-handed kicker. Hill has it at the 20. He's coming down the sideline and across the 35, and who got him but the quarterback, Norris Weiss. Is he tough?
I was wondering what he was doing in there. Now I see the reason why Norris Weiss is in the football game. That's why I thought maybe they were going with it. A big lane. Hill coming down. Big yardage on the punt return, but you see the quarterback has been working on his tackling drill.
If he hadn't been there, first of all, Hill would have just romped.
Well, probably.
Rayfield Wright is in there now. Rayfield Wright had a knee operation on the 1st of August, and they're getting him ready today for the playoffs. He's number 70. He's playing the right offensive tackle. And Pat Donovan is on the left side for the Cowboys. 1st and 10 at their 37. Staubach with a handoff to Newhouse, and he was stopped cold. Cold by Joe Rizzo, the linebacker. Former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger met this morning with Prime Minister Begin of Israel, and he'll be interviewed tomorrow on the Today program. Dr. Kissinger will discuss recent developments in the Middle East. After meeting today with the Prime Minister, he will be on the Today show tomorrow here on NBC. 2nd down and 8. Golden Richards is in there. Staubach is back to throw. Newhouse really crumbled. I mean, he was whacked by Bill Thompson.
I said they hit, and they're an aggressive physical football team, and that displayed. Now, that's about the 3rd hit that I can recall Bill Thompson making, and I mean, he really hits people.
He's 6'1", 200, and he unloads.
He used to be really an outstanding defensive halfback or a cornerback. He made the switch to strong safety very well, and here's what I'm talking about right here. He is really coming up and unloading on Newhouse.
Huh.
Both of those players felt that one.
How'd that ball get away from him like that? We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
Channel 4 in Amarillo, KAMR-TV.
Roger is riding shotgun. Drills it over the middle, and there he is, Drew Pearson. To the 35-yard line. Pearson, who caught 46 in the first 13 games, it is on the Pro Bowl. Just hauled that one in, and Bill Thompson tackled him.
Good pass protection for Roger Staubach, because this is not a delayed pattern, but he's running up after it's been cleared out by number 86, Butch Johnson. And Roger threw a fine pass, and you can see we were talking about the sunlight hitting the field. Pearson coming up with something that you see so many times. Roger Staubach, and number 88, Drew Pearson.
Dorsett and Preston Pearson are in there. By the way, now Dorsett goes out. By the way, he first changed his name from Dorsett to Dorsett just as a joke. And then he liked it, so he stayed with it. So it's Preston Pearson and Newhouse in the backfield. And motion by Drew Pearson. A fake by Staubach. And the pass over the middle, good for only a couple of yards. He had a one-man screen out to the right, but it was covered, so he went elsewhere with the toss.
Well, he went elsewhere to the other Pearson, Preston Pearson. He's really an outstanding athlete. Played for the Pretzels someplace, they told me. Of his high school team, the name was the Pretzels. Did not play collegiate football. Was a basketball player, but he's a great athlete.
And he's to the sideline now as Staubach is 9 out of 12 for 117 yards. He has the two tight ends, Billy Joe Dupree and Jay Saldi in there, and Drew Pearson is the wide receiver. It's 2nd and 8. Dorsett gets very little. Barney Chavis, Lyle Alzado got him. That Alzado is something, number 77. He's 6'3", 250-pounder. He's been around for 7 years. And he is tough. Reuben Carter holds down the middle, and he and Chavis are the ends.
Alzado made that tackle. Was on the other side at the right end position, made it clear over on the other side of the field. Dallas going to that right side. Maybe they're trying to test Rayfield Wright's knee to see how well it's coming along.
The ball is to the 33, and it's 3rd down and 7. Butch Johnson is in as a wide receiver with Drew Pearson. And from the shotgun and against the 4-man rush now, they blitzed and they chased him out of there. They shot a linebacker, and that broke down the pass blocking of the Cowboys.
Well, they hadn't been getting to Roger Staubach with 3 men going after the passer. That time they sent 4 men in. Barney Chavis, number 79, is the man who eventually gets. But look at the pressure. It's coming from all positions.
And then from the outside.
Right side, you see number 56 coming from the outside, but there's just 4 men rushing, so that means defensively in the coverage, you can use any type of coverage that you want. But Barney Chavis, number 79, not going to let Roger go.
When they sent Larry Evans in there, it broke everything down, and so Danny White is standing inside his 45 to kick it to Rick Upchurch with 4:15 remaining in the half. Clock running, 7-0 Dallas. He's angling for out of bounds, gets it high in the air, and Upchurch is going to let it go, and it's batted out. He can do that, and it is downed. No, it's a touchback because the ball was put down on the goal line. Now, the man who batted it back out of the end zone can do that, but then watch what happened. Benny Barnes was downfield, number 31, and he made that basketball move, but they didn't get it down inbounds.
Well,
now watch this.
No, his feet are in there. His feet are in the end zone. He already touched the end zone, I think.
And now let's see. No, the man who got the ball was on the goal line.
His foot is on the end zone line, too. But Upchurch did really a fine job of looking up because Benny Barnes really didn't know where the ball was.
Well, in any event, they came very close to downing it right at the 1-foot line, but they didn't. And the Broncos, with 4 minutes left in the half, and Penrose quarterbacking, are on the go. And here's Keyworth. One thing about Keyworth, when he's about to be hit, as he was by Brunig there, he unloads. He makes you pay for it a little bit.
Well, he's a big man. Perrin is also pretty good size, and Jensen is also good size for a fullback. And but they generally do it when they're going against a defensive back because those are the people you can give more punishment to than one of those big defensive linemen.
Upchurch is in there. Keyworth, number 32, is the fellow that we keep hearing singing that song, Make Those Miracles Happen. Mike Hegman is in, number 58, as an outside linebacker for the Cowboys. We're playing today without Jethro Pugh. Here is the delay. Keyworth couldn't make the miracle happen that time. Well, it's 3rd down about 1.5 yards, and Randy White got him. And Randy White's going to be on the Pro Bowl team, although not as a starter.
Well, he started out as a linebacker. They wanted to make a big middle linebacker out of him, but his real position is where he is right now, I think, and that's defensive tackle.
He can really loop.
Oh, and he's capable and quick enough to do that. A lot of players will try to loop, but they're not quick enough to get back into the pursuit lane. He has such great speed, he can do that.
White and Larry Cole are playing the tackle spots with Jones and Harvey Martin, the defensive ends. Ron Egloff is in there along with Odoms, the 2 tight ends on 3rd down and 2. There's the end around to Haven Moses, and he is in big trouble. But why not? You know, that play is not going to hurt Denver a bit, because if they end up playing Dallas in the Super Bowl, that's the only place they can meet elsewhere. That'll give Dallas something else to think about. Harvey Martin and Mike Hegman.
Well, Harvey Martin didn't go along with the play. He's supposed to be chasing, but he went upfield and maintained his pursuit lane, making sure that nobody comes back that way. That's his first responsibility before he pursues. And he is the man that disrupted that play. He didn't make the tackle, but he's the guy that made that play work for Dallas.
And Aaron Kyle up from the corner. This is the 5th punt for Bucky Dilts. By the way, from the Denver bench, Randy Gradishar turned an ankle. Godwin Turk hurt his shoulder. Both will be held out at least for the remainder of this first half. We're down to the 2-minute warning. The Cowboys have the only points. They lead 7-0, and they're about to get the ball. Saturday on NBC with the playoffs, we're going to have Pittsburgh at Denver, and we're also going to have a game either at Miami or Baltimore, and there's the score with 5 minutes left in the half, 7-3, New England over Baltimore. Here's Dilts kicking for the 5th time today. They overloaded to the left side. He's a left-footed kicker. Tony Hill took it on the 45 and got about a 3-yard return.
It's Dilts he's been to acting school that all punters go to, Jack, and this time I don't think this is not a going to be a command performance, but he's going to go through his little act right here.
He took an extra step.
Somebody hit me. Now what do I do? Fall down. Oh, that's right.
He took an extra step, and that's why Dallas got very close to the ball. Here's the rookie from Georgia, Bucky Dilts. Did a pretty good job of getting that one away, and good coverage downfield, and so the Cowboys go from their 47 with Dorsett and Preston Pearson, and it's still Rogers Staubach.
They've had great field position all afternoon, and Denver really hasn't.
By the way, that's the way he pronounces his name, like it's B-O-C-K, Bach, Staubach. First down at the 47. Of the shotgun, he swings it out here and overthrows Preston Pearson, who had a one-man screen. Herb Scott out in front of him, the guard, but not a very good touch by Roger on that one. At halftime of this game, and we have 1:46 left in the half, some stations will break away for a report on the day's news. Those who stay with us will watch NFL 77 with scores and highlights of today's NFL game, with the Chicago Bears getting into the playoff after beating the Giants in overtime in the snow and freezing rain in New York. Along the sideline is Tom Landry. His team lost only 2 games this year to the Cardinals and to Pittsburgh. 2nd and 10. 3-man rush for the Broncos. Preston Pearson at midfield. That's good for only a 3-yard gain. The whistle had blown, and the ball will come back. You know, Lenny Dawson, you used to play in Denver. I used to do a lot of their telecasts. The one I remember there, and I bet the fans in the Denver area remember this one. Buffalo was ahead 33-0 at the half, and it started to snow in Denver. The game ended up 33-33, and one of the darndest football games I've ever seen in my life.
When I was with the Chiefs, we had a lot of very interesting contests up there in Denver.
Still only a 3-man rush for the Broncos. Staubach runs out of it. He's in trouble, and down he goes. And again, I'm saying that Tom Landry is surely holding his breath. Bryson Manor got to him, number 66.
He had plenty of time to throw. It must have been very good coverage by the Denver Broncos in the secondary, but Roger dropping back, and he's getting pressure. He has a way to go, but Roger knows how quickly the Denver Broncos can regroup, and he also knows how hard they hit, so he wisely goes down.
Paul Smith really protected him from the outside. I remember guys who played for Denver like Gene Mingo and Goose Gonsolin and Frank Trapuka.
That's right. Bud McFadden.
And it is a hotbed of pro football now. Here's a punt from Danny White to Rick Upchurch, who's standing at his 15 and fighting the sun. I don't think he'll even try to handle the ball. No, he won't. And it goes. Boy, he almost got a dandy kick away, but it zoomed into the end zone. Benny Barnes was downfield again, number 31.
He does Benny Barnes does a great job on coverage.
Well, you can't stop him. So the Broncos get the ball with 39 seconds remaining in the half, and they've been shut out and trail 7-0. NBC's regular season coverage of college basketball, in association with TBS, starts on Saturday, the last day of the year, the 31st, with Notre Dame and Kentucky. Kentucky's the number 1 ranked team in the nation, and it's at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Kentucky and Notre Dame, and you can see Marquette, UCLA, Louisville, Maryland, North Carolina, Nevada, Las Vegas. Penrose is 2 out of 7. And he's keeping it on the ground, and he gives it to Rob Lytle. And Lytle, the former Michigan player, is at the 15-yard line.
I don't think that because of the field position, they're interested really of utilizing the 2-minute drills that they have in their offense.
Nobody's going to stop the clock. That probably was our last play of the first half. Lytle and Keyworth are in there. We saw Craig Morton at the very outset of the game. They ran one series, took him out, and I bet you nickel he doesn't come back in the second half, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Danny White quarterbacking the Cowboys in the second half. Bang goes the gun. Boo, says the crowd. 7-0 the score. The Cowboys with the only touchdown with 10:58 remaining in the first quarter. 22 yards from Staubach to Preston Pearson. 7-0 at the half.
Make those miracles happen. Make those miracles.
This is the Artful Dodger, Lenny Dawson, here to my right. I'm Jack Buck. We're here in Dallas, 7-0 Cowboys. It was very difficult to get tickets for this game, but I think the fans were a little more enthusiastic than the teams, Lenny.
Well, I think so, that they know that they're going to the playoffs, and a lot of times you get into contests like this, and you don't want to take any chances because you know that it's important that you show up next week. And in the case of the Denver Broncos, it's going to be next Saturday. They're going to have to go against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've been very conservative in the first half.
Which is not to say that there's not a lot of hard hitting out there. There really is, particularly on the part of the two defenses, but the offenses are laying a little low. I guarantee you if these two teams end up in the Super Bowl, a lot of people think that they will, we'll see a little more action than we've seen thus far.
Well, I think one thing, too, you must consider the field position for the Denver Broncos has not been very good in the first half. And they're the type of team that they needed.
At least we're learning how to punt, right?
Yes. For Denver, and 148 for the Cowboys, but the passing yards, 5 yards, you know, that they were in field position once.
Look at the time of possession.
40, that's Dallas has had the ball the whole first half, but Denver had the ball on the 45-yard line in the first half just once when they started their drive. They had a couple of penalties. They ended up losing about 20 yards, and they had to punt the ball away. They're the type of team that their defense is going to get them the ball a lot of the times and get them in pretty good field position. When they get in field position, they get points. They haven't been in field position so far this afternoon.
You know these, and we're looking at Tom Landry in the background. You know these Cowboys, in addition to having won the division title, have 9 rookies on their team. So they are a forward-looking football team, and they're bound to be in contention again next year.
They draft very, very well. And there's Red Phillips that has done such a...
Red Miller.
Phillips, Miller, that has done such a tremendous job for the Denver Broncos this year. He had, you know, he's got them fired up. The attitude of this ball club is really great, and that's very, very important.
You know what I was talking to before the game? He said emotion in pro football is a fleeting thing. He recognizes that fact. He said when you get it, you better hang on to it and cash in on it. And so he's trying to get them fired up for the second half. They've lost only one game. They split with Oakland, and that was the only game that they lost. And Miller, in his first year, to be sure, inherited a good football team, but did a good job.
Oh, they have a lot of talent on that football team, defensively in particular. And the defense has always been good for the last few years. The problem has been the offense. They've been very inconsistent. With Morton coming in this year, they've gotten that consistency. At least they have when they've been in scoring situations. They've gotten some points.
Efren Herrera will kick it away, and there's Lonnie Perrin, number 35, going back with Rick Upchurch. Upchurch hasn't been able to excite us much this afternoon. Of course, both of these teams have outstanding specialty teams, and it's tough to break a run against them. But there's Upchurch, and let's see how far downfield Herrera can get it. Ole, we're underway in the second half, and Perrin takes it on the 5. He's to the 15, across the 20, the 25-yard line. And the Cowboys were quickly downfield, led by Tony Hill, number 80, to make the stop on Perrin, who's as big as he looks. He's 6'1", 230-pounder, one of a group of fine running backs that the Broncos have. But Otis Armstrong could have played today, but they decided not to put him on the active list. We have Rob Lytle and Lonnie Perrin in there as the running backs for Craig Penrose, number 12, the quarterback. Jack Dalvin is the wide receiver to this side. Haven Moses is at the top of your screen, and Riley Odoms is the tight end, and he's on a wing. And the running play to Perrin is smothered in a big hurry by Harvey Martin, who stopped the run that time.
Oh, he guessed right. He had an inside rush on that play, and the defensive tackle was going outside. They guessed right, and Martin was there to drill it.
You know, he's not that big. I'm talking about weight-wise. He's 6'5", 252, but
that's
quick
not
and
big?
strong. Well, I mean, compared to some others, he's bigger than I am.
When he hits you, he feels a lot larger than that, believe me.
They put in the extra backs, Mark Washington and Randy Hughes. Take out Lewis and Brunig, 2 of the Dallas linebackers, on 2nd down and 9. Odoms was in motion again, and the delay is good for a few yards to Perrin, and then the play was stopped by Cliff Harris, the safety man. And Randy Hughes helps Perrin to his feet. Tony Dorsett has 19 yards in the first half, and he needs 24 to reach the 1,000 yards rushing for the year. So we'll see if he plays. I'm sure he will when the Cowboys get the ball. There's Dorsett. It'll be interesting to see whether Staubach or White is the quarterback when the Cowboys get it. And I saw Randy White warming up along the sideline.
Well, I talked to him in the locker room, and he wants to play, and that's the truth.
Penrose needs 5 yards. The blitz is on. And they made it work. Aaron Kyle with the safety blitz. Number 25 came roaring up the middle, and nobody got him, and that's the second time today that he comes in.
Earlier, Morton got it. This time, it was Kyle coming through, untouched, and once again, the back wasn't able to get to. I'm talking about Perrin and Lytle there in the backfield, and they are not able to get to Kyle before he gets to the quarterback.
Tony Hill is back to receive the punt from Bucky Dilts. They'll touch it off at about the 15. Not such a hot kick, and a fair catch is called for by Hill on the 39-yard line. And now let's take a look at the Cowboys. Who's it going to be at the controls? Well, Mr. Staubach. How do you explain that, Lenny? Tom Landry said he wanted him to keep his momentum, and he's playing him here at the start of the second half.
He's the coach. I don't happen to agree with that because there's no momentum. They're 11-2 right now. Their momentum got them to where they are right now. Half of the ball game is, I'm sure, all that Roger needs. He's an established player who's been under a lot of pressure a lot of games.
Here's a toss to Dorsett. He is wrestled down from behind by Alzado, who showed you the quick speed coming around from behind and latching on to Tony. He gained a couple of yards. And it'll be 2nd down and 8. We've played 2 minutes and 15 seconds of this third quarter. 7-0 Dallas. They could have been better off, but they missed 3 field goals. We have Butch Johnson in there now. He and Drew Pearson are strong to the right. 18! And the give to the up man, Newhouse. Gets the first down. Going across midfield with one of the best runs that we've seen from scrimmage today with Randy Podol, number 21, the tackler.
Well, he was running with a great deal of enthusiasm on this play, and he was running straight at the linebackers. Linebackers aren't really that large for the Denver Broncos. They're very active, but here you see he's running through arm tackling, which is number 55, Godwin Turk.
Big block by Herb Scott, number 68, the left guard of the Cowboys. First down at the 48 of Denver. Well, the one man held his position, and that was Bill Thompson. He let Dorsett do all the faking. He just waited for him to come to him.
Well, I'll tell you, that was really a great tackle by Thompson. Now, this is a play-action pass. Dorsett wanted to go straight upfield, but he could see the Denver Broncos coming in with their pursuit, cutting across the grain. But number 36, Bill Thompson, is a man that was not going to be faked out. Makes a good open field tackle on one of the finest runners in the game today.
Folks, listen to this. Claiborne of New England ran a kickoff back 101 yards right down the throat of the Baltimore Colts, and it's 21-3 now.
And right into the living room of the Miami Dolphins.
Well, the Patriots lead by the score of 21-3 with 14.5 minutes left in the third quarter, and I don't know if they're celebrating in Miami or not, but they will be getting ready to celebrate.
I know there's a lot of questions being raised about the Detroit game when they failed to take that safety with 9 seconds remaining, no timeouts left. Detroit blocked the kick and scored a touchdown and won the football game.
Do you think that could cost a coach his job?
I don't know. I don't think so in Marcus Rota's case.
Yeah, but knowing that Baltimore owner is explosive as he is, you might look for something over there, too.
Well, there's a lot of jobs going to be available, and I'm sure a lot of teams would love to talk to Ted Marchesrota.
We have third down and short. Newhouse and Dorsett. Dorsett trying to get outside. Good block by Lawless, and a first down for the Cowboys. Burton Lawless really cracked his man and took him right down out of the play.
Did a great job, and that's one of the few times today they've been able to go wide on the Denver Broncos
in the third quarter. Dorsett has carried 11 times, 27 yards, needs 16 to reach 1,000. Gold and Richards is in there, along with Drew Pearson. They're both on the right side. Try it again, Tony. Well, there are a few of them. He's going to be at 1,000 ere long, isn't he? 10 minutes left.
He's going to have to continue to run with the football, and I think he's going to have to continue to go straight ahead, because when he starts going sideways against the Denver Broncos, there's a chance that you can lose yardage. Going straight ahead, generally there isn't much of a chance of losing any yardage.
Now he needs 10 yards. Jay Saldi is in there with Billy Joe Dupree, the two tight ends for Dallas. 7-0 Cowboys. In a game against two division champs. Pearson goes to the left. Dupree on the left side, Saldi on the right. Dorsett was in motion, and I thought illegally in motion.
He was going forward instead of laterally or backwards.
And there's the flag. And Newhouse goes down. Not too many penalties in this game, but Dorsett did it right in front of the official.
Yes.
He had to throw the flag.
Started in motion. You can go in motion before the ball is snapped, but you cannot be going forward.
Now they talk it over with Bill Thompson as to whether or not they'll accept the penalty. And they will. So we'll tell you once again that our referee is Jerry Markbright, and he'll talk to us here.
Illegal motion, 33, offense, second down.
That's a nice voice. The umpire is Gordon Wells, the head linesman, Ray Dotas. The line judge is Bill Reynolds, Tom Kelleher, the back judge, and the field judge is Ed Merrifield.
You got a nice voice, too, Jim.
The ball to the 32-yard line, second down and 9. Pearson left, Butch Johnson to the right side. Staubach. There he is. Dupree. He is down at the 10. It'll be first and goal.
That play's been run about 3 or 4 times. It's worked every time. He's been wide open. He's faking to the top of your screen, and that's the side that the tight end is on, but he's going across the field. And when he gets across there, he's wide open. Once he catches the ball, now it's time to run. Billy Joe Dupree coming up with a big first down, getting them really an excellent scoring position right now on the 10-yard line.
Dupree is all pro. He's on the left side, Saldi on the right side. Pearson is split left. Newhouse the fullback, Dorsett the tailback, and Newhouse goes down to the 6-yard line. By the way, as it's going to be second and goal following the tackle by Reuben Carter. Dorsett, in addition to getting close to 1,000 yards, has scored 12 rushing touchdowns, so he knows how to do it.
Well, yes, generally there's one man on a team when you get near the goal line that plays are designed for him. I'll tell you another reason why I'm sure that is he's a great runner, but Newhouse is a much better blocker, so you get pretty close to that goal line, you want somebody to block.
John Grant checks into the defense. Carter, Alzado, Grant, Chavis up front as they go into a 4-man front. Second and goal from the 7. And there it is for the TD to Newhouse.
Good job of play-action faking, a good call. Wide open was number 44, Robert Newhouse, and a good job of faking not only to Newhouse, but to Tony Dorsett on the play by Roger Staubach.
Sometimes this Dallas offense looks like it sputters a lot, but they can do some things.
Oh, they can hit you from all over. They have great speed, great people on the outside. You talked about Pearson. Staubach's a great quarterback. You got Dorsett now that adds another dimension to this football team that they didn't have last year. Preston Pearson is an outstanding running back, but Dorsett adds, I think, just a little bit something extra.
Herrera makes it 14-0 with 7:48 remaining in the third quarter. 2 touchdown passes by Staubach today. It's left in the third quarter. New England, the Patriots leading Baltimore 21-10. Jones just hit Dowdy with a 14-yard touchdown pass. Here is the kick to Upchurch. Come on, show us something, kid. Cross the 20. Whoa! To the 25-yard line and down by Penny Barnes. Boy, he earns his money.
Oh, you talking guys trying to leap? It's a line drive kick, so it looked like a good possibility of a good return. And he's coming. Now, he wants to make some yardage. And look at this. It's not the recommended way to run with the football when you're running kickoffs back.
Barnes picked him out of midair after Andy Frederick had met him head on.
Barnes on the special teams is always around the football.
We have Norris Weiss in there at quarterback. And running with the ball. Boy, that's a big play in the pros. It's tough for these pro teams to defense that option play because they just don't work on it.
I don't think he wanted to run with the football. He missed a handoff to Parent.
Could have given it to the referee. Bill Gregory got after him, number 77. Cowboys are playing up front with Ed Jones, Bill Gregory, Randy White, and Harvey Martin, with Jethro Pugh out of this game. Tom Henderson, D.D. Lewis, and Bob Brunig are the linebackers. Benny Barnes and Aaron Kyler on the corners. Charlie Waters and Cliff Harris, both all-pro selection, Pro Bowl selection, are the safety men. Motion by Riley Odoms. He's been held in check today. But he's in the pass pattern, and a flag is down. A flag is down as the pass was caught by Upchurch and the tackle by Benny Barnes. Holding Denver.
Yeah, they're making mistakes. They're hurting themselves. The first half, they only had one situation on first down when they got possession of the football in good field position. Now this is a big play. Once again, they're called for holding.
As they mark it off, may we talk for a moment about Charlie Waters, number 41, the safety man for the Dallas Cowboys. Let's listen to the referee first.
Holding, 62, offense, second down.
And there's Red Miller.
He's talking about number 62, Tom Glassick, who's working on number 54, Randy White. He just has a little bit of the jersey.
Just a little, huh? Okay, it's second down and 14 as a result of that. Charlie Waters is showing a blitz. Now he backs off. A flag is down. Looks like the Cowboys were offside. Bill Gregory got offside as Lonnie Perrin carried the ball. Charlie Waters of the Cowboys just became a father for the first time. His wife, Rosie, gave birth to a son, John Cody Waters, on Friday, a 10-pound baby boy.
10 pounds.
Our congratulations to the Waters family.
Offside, 72, defense, second down.
They called it on Ed Jones, so it's second down and 9 for Denver with 6:47 remaining in the third quarter. That's the third penalty against the Broncos for 25 yards. There was Ed Jones, number 72 in your picture. Dallas been penalized 4 times. Broncos trailing 14-0. Weiss drills it low, and the pass is covered by Benny Barnes and caught by Upchurch. The official was looking for help over there from an official who had a better angle.
Well, because it was very, very close to being out of bounds. He made a good throw there. He threw that ball low, so there was only one person that could catch it. That's number 80, Upchurch. And you can see it right here, because you don't want to throw the thing high because it could go to the other team.
He drilled it right in there. Ron Egloff is in as the tight end on 3rd and 1.
That was a good play by Upchurch because he went down with that football. He made sure first things first, and that is first catch the football.
Denver has -2 in passing yardage now. They just haven't been able to do anything. Now watch Weiss try to get a yard here on 3rd down. And he gets the first down with Rob Lytle carrying the ball. This Denver team will be different when Otis Armstrong is in there in the playoff game against the Steelers.
Well, he is an explosive running back and has done it for a few years, but he has to be healthy, you know.
San Diego is beating the Steelers by the score of 9-7 in the third quarter, but that doesn't matter because Cincinnati lost earlier today to Houston, and Pittsburgh will win the division even if they lose to the Chargers.
They'll be in Denver, Colorado, Saturday, taking on the Broncos.
And the Broncos would rather have that extra day to prepare for the game, but they won't have 2 days, extra 2 days. The blitz was on. Weiss got away from Lewis, and then it was hauled down by Charlie Waters. Where did that Waters come from?
Well, he came from the other side, did a great job. Number 50, D.D. Lewis coming in blitzing. Nobody touches him. Quarterback did a great job. Weiss did a great job of avoiding D.D. Lewis. Now number 41's coming in the picture right there.
Boy, he's a streaker, isn't he?
Yes.
He can really sprint when he starts to go. Weiss is 3 out of 3. There's Waters, who made that last tackle. Lewis, who was blitzing on the play. Weiss is 3 out of 3 for 14 yards. He's carried 3 times for 21 yards.
He's been the offense for the Denver Broncos.
Broncos ain't done much here today. Incomplete. He did a good job trying to hit Lytle. Randy White had latched onto him, number 54. Imagine that White, who was a linebacker, becomes a down lineman and makes the Pro Bowl.
Well, he is so quick. That's the reason they wanted to make a middle linebacker out of him originally, I think, the 250-pound middle linebacker. But you can see that, you know, the quarterback didn't have any time at all. He just barely got set up, and the defensive lineman's breathing down his throat.
So the Cowboys come up with their defensive signals called by Charlie Waters, relayed from the sideline by Ernie Stutner. 3rd down and 5 from the 43 of Denver. Kyle shows the blitz and blitzes. The pitch is out here to Lonnie Perrin, and he spins for a first down. Well, Weiss was really quick to avoid the blitz.
Tell you, he did really an outstanding job on that play, getting rid of the football. And it was a good call in that situation, because if you get around, get outside, there really isn't any pursuit coming because they're all chasing the quarterback. This is an option play down the line of scrimmage, and his option is just one. Get rid of the football as quickly as you can.
He got rid of the ball like a bad habit, just as quickly as he could. And Kyle was coming, was only about a half a step away.
I think that's about the 4th time that the Cowboys have shown that blitz situation. 3 of the 4 they've come.
Perrin has carried 6 times for 20 yards, and the Broncos are at midfield. Odom's in motion, and Weiss to the air. And right into the hands of Brunig, and he dropped it. He tried to get it to Riley Odoms, who had been in motion with the snap of the ball. There's Tom Landry.
He got a lucky break, too. I'm not talking about Tom Landry. I'm talking about Norris Weiss. He should never have thrown that ball in that area.
Brunig is really upset with himself. Cowboys leading here, trying to end the season 12-2 and make the Bronco record the same. They would be the only 2 teams that won 12 games. Second down and 10. Fake to Lytle. Oh, he couldn't hang on. Lytle had a screen out in front of him as Harvey Martin decked Norris Weiss.
The object behind the screen is to stop the initial charge of the defensive front 4 and then set up a screen behind it. He fakes it, and he's going to throw back to Lytle, but they don't stop him enough. Martin coming in, putting pressure on. He does a great job of getting rid of the football, but unfortunately he threw it behind Rob Lytle, and he couldn't come up with it. Had he come up with it, there were 2 linemen in front of Lytle. It would really have been a big game.
Jack Dalvin checks in. Harvey Martin. Really tough to stop. And when he gets a guy who can't stop him, man, he does murder. He just loves him into the deck.
Loves to hit the quarterback.
3rd down and 10. Big effort. He's short of a first down by about a foot. In the grasp of Tom Henderson, Randy White, and others. But he's a tough horse, I'll tell you that.
Now's the time to go for it for Denver.
Yeah, they're trailing 14-0. No sense kicking.
He is something. He's doing this on his own. Martin took an inside rush. 2 talls coming from the other side. And look at that. He does a great job of getting out of the hand grasp of the defense. Henderson, 56, gets away from him. And he's looking at fighting and scratching to get that first down.
Boy, he's a tough cookie. I like to watch him play.
He's on the punting team. Any quarterback that's on the punting team that blocks and tackles has got to be tough. Or that crazy, one of the 2.
He's carried 4 times for 30 yards now. The 2 tight ends, Odoms and Egloff, are in there. 4th down and a foot. Motion by the wide receiver. And a first down for the Broncos. First down for the Broncos with Keyworth going up over the top. Charlie Waters and Brunig tackled him, but too late to stop the first down, and the wide receiver Dalvin comes back in now for the Broncos. 3 minutes left in the quarter.
This is the best penetration they've had all afternoon, 40-yard line.
With Weiss in there giving us a little excitement, this game is picked up in tempo. There's Staubach.
Now what that'll do, if he has any success, it's going to make the defensive front 4 stay in their lanes to rush the passer, to make sure that they contain that quarterback.
on the 40-yard line of Dallas. Motion by Moses. And the pass is good for another first down. Dalvin caught the ball. He's inside the 15-yard line, and you're right, Lenny. The pressure wasn't there that time because of the way he's been running.
Give credit to the offensive line for doing a great job, and he was looking for Dalvin. See, he has a lane to throw in. Wide open. He can see the receiver all the way, and that's really important. Once again, the man should never leave his feet to catch the football. If he maybe hadn't left his feet, he might have broke away and scored a touchdown.
Barnes tripped him up, and Aaron Kyle caught up with the play and made the stop. It's a first down at the 12-yard line. This is what Denver does. They just keep plugging away, and finally they burn you.
When they get inside that area, scoring territory, they generally come away with some points.
There goes Keyworth. Outside, inside, good yardage. Big yardage by the big running back, John Keyworth, who has recorded a couple of songs and aspires to a career of sorts. And he's been singing Make Those Miracles Happen. Bill Gregory, Bob Brunig were the Dallas defenders. Dalvin checks back in. And Jim Jensen is the other running back with him. Those are two big horses.
Make those defensive linemen disappear. He's also trying to hum that.
The ball at the 7. And it's second down and 5.
This is a good place for Weiss because he has a new dimension because of his running ability.
Running up the middle, uses the official, drives inside the 5-yard line. He used the umpire as a blocker.
It's a good move, yes. He should have put a hand and pushed him in front, maybe to help him block. Anything to try to get into the end zone.
I bet that umpire was holding his breath, wondering what was going to happen to him. It's third down at the 5. It's third down and 3. Egloff checks in, 2 tight ends for the Broncos. Dalvin out. We're under a minute now remaining in the third quarter. The attendance here today is 63,752. It's third down and 3. Here's Weiss on the move, throwing and incomplete. Intended for Keyworth and covered by Barnes. That Barnes is really tough. So is Weiss, who's slow in getting up after being walloped.
Play action pass. He has 2 men, Riley Odoms and also Keyworth going out to the right side of the end zone, and he pays for this throw.
Jones
gets
got
hit
him
by 2 tall just as releasing the football, and believe me, that hurts.
Jones is 6'9", 265, and he made him part of the artificial surface here. Weiss is 4 out of 8 in the throwing department, and Jim Turner will try his first field goal of the day. The ball will be held by Weiss at the 12. 22-yard try.
I would say
36 seconds
this
left.
could be a place for a fake, but I know they want to get on the board. They don't want to be shut out.
Turner makes it good. Score is 14-3 with 33 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And the Broncos will kick the ball to the Cowboys, and the tempo is picked up in this game. You've got a date, not with her, but with NBC and Sports World, 2:30 Eastern Time, Sunday, January 22nd. Here's the kickoff by Perrin. And the line drive heads out of bounds, and that gives us a chance to tell you about Jim Turner. Turner, who is in his 15th year in the NFL, in pro football, that is, has just become the 5th player in the NFL history to reach 1,300 points. 1,300 in career points with that field goal a moment ago.
He's been really great, and he's been consistent year after year after year. And he kicks funny, too. He kicks straight ahead. He doesn't kick sideways like all the rest of the people.
Someday that'll be illegal. And we mentioned earlier about the Waters family having an addition. 10-pound baby boy, John Cody Waters.
My family was big. I came from 11 children in my family, and I think the lightest was about 9'4".
All right. You're the oldest?
I'm the 9th.
Okay, here's Tony Hill running this kickoff back across the 30-yard line. And getting very, very good yardage. And let's see where they say he went out of bounds at the 41. Quite a return by Tony Hill as the Cowboys lead by 11 points with 18 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and still Staubach in there. Danny White must feel a little frustrated. There's Hill, who just returned the kickoff. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
Channel 4 in Amarillo, KAMR TV.
Dallas has gone with their first stringers all the way, both on offense and defense. Here's Newhouse trying to duck outside, moving across the 45-yard line. Roger Staubach is 13 out of 17, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's scrambled a couple of times. And he really has appeared to have slowed down a little bit in that running department, Lenny.
Well, he's, you take so many blows, and I was looking at his little finger on his right hand. It looks terrible because it's really knotted up, and his thumb on the throwing hand has also been damaged this past year, so he has really paid for running with the football.
2nd down and 4 as Newhouse picked up 6. We still do not have Dorsett over the 1,000 mark. The pass is intercepted. Coming back this way is Tom Jackson. And Denver has the football with 4 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. And didn't Dorsett make the tackle?
Yeah, he went to the well one time too often. Once again, he had the tight end coming across. He's trying to go to the tight end, but the linebackers get great depth. They read the play all the way. And 57 is Jackson coming up with the interception. He can fly. He runs about a 4.58 40. And here's a man who runs about a 4.3 40.
Dorsett went right after him and dropped him at the 41-yard line. You saw that score. There's Jackson. You saw that's his 4th interception, by the way, for this year. Kansas City leading Oakland 20-6 with 10 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Here's Weiss. Boy, he looks good, doesn't he? There goes Dalvin. Inside the 30-yard line, Aaron Kyle chasing him.
Good play. That was play action pass. Dalvin coming from the left side all the way to the right. He was wide open. As a matter of fact, the ball was thrown just a little behind Dalvin.
And this marks the end of the 3rd quarter here. So we have come to the end of the 3rd quarter. And 15 minutes. Well, I guess the biggest story of this game has been Norris Weiss, who's quarterbacking for the Broncos at the moment from the 27-yard line. Odoms is in motion. Boy, he hasn't done anything today. They haven't been able to get the ball to him. That ball took off. Upchurch made the grab, and it's good for a couple of yards with Benny Barnes hanging on him. That ball took off as we
it did, and that was really a fine catch by Rick Upchurch because he had to leave his feet on that occasion because he couldn't have caught the football, but he was really concentrated on it, did a great job of catching it.
He's 5 out of 9, 72 yards. Upchurch to the sideline. Dalvin back in. There's Weiss, 5 out of 9, 72 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. The ball at the 21, 2nd down and 5. The score 14-3, Dallas. Moses in motion. The pass is incomplete. Intended for Dalvin. That running by Weiss has kept the Dallas pressure off him a little bit, although we might see the blitz right now.
He has made things happen. He's created some things, and he's got things moving.
He was drafted by the Rams, went to the World Football League. He killed the Chicago Bears the last game of the season last year, running for more than 100 yards out of the quarterback spot.
Well, he can look for a blitz in this situation. They're bringing in 2 additional defensive backs. They've 4 or 5 times they've showed it. 3 or 4 times they've come with the safety blitz.
3rd down and 4. Moses on the right side is in motion, and here comes Weiss, and there was Charlie Water. Boy, what a smart football player. Number 41.
Yes, sir. That time I think Denver was anticipating perhaps they were going to come with a safety blitz. That time it didn't work. Waters once again showing you why he's going to be in the Pro Bowl game again.
New England has added 3 more points on a John Smith field goal of 33 yards. They have 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. There's the score, 24-10, as New England is trying to knock Baltimore out and put Miami into the playoffs, in which case Oakland would play at Miami. Oh, that's safe, that touchdown, that blocked punt against the Detroit Lions. One of the biggest plays of the NFL season. Here's Turner trying it from 37, with Weiss putting it down. 37 yards, the 2nd of the day for Mr. Turner. We have 13:24 remaining in the football game and plenty of time for the Broncos to come back and knock off the Cowboys. Rhinestone Cowboy carrying his horse down here in the Texas Stadium. Here comes a kickoff from Heron. He didn't get the kick too deep the last time. Butch Johnson and Tony Hill are back waiting for it. Well, somebody must have given him some hay for lunch. Here's Tony Hill picking it up on the 10-yard line. 15, 20, 25. The governor of the state of Colorado, Richard Lamb, is on hand, and the mayor of Denver, William McNichols Jr., are attending the game. And the people in Denver and the surrounding territory are really thrilled about their football team. And if they win against Pittsburgh, they'll get the championship game there on the 1st, and the same applies to Dallas. If they win their game against the Bears, they'll get the championship game at home. Staubach is still in it on the 26-yard line. Motion by Saldi. One way, then the other. There's Dorsett. And he's going to be very close right now to that 1,000 mark. He's going to need a few. He carried shy of the 35.
I'm sure they're trying to get him that 1,000-yard mark, because it'd be a big thrill for him. He's going to get 1,000 yards, I'm sure, many times in his career if he stays healthy.
He needs 3 yards.
Give it to him again.
Yeah, because when you look at his figures, he really hasn't carried the ball that often. They worked him into the lineup slowly here in Dallas. He needs 3 yards. That's what the crowd is reacting to. They know that he needs 3 yards. And they also need 3 yards for a first down. Here comes Dorsett. They were keying on him. Now he needs more than 3.
They need 4 or 5 now. So I said about trying to go wide on this Denver Bronco defensive unit, because all the linebackers, you're talking about 51, Bob Swenson is one of them. They all run fast. They all tackle exceptionally well. Playing a good play right there. Number 51 is Swenson, getting help from the inside. I mentioned earlier that you watch the pursuit from the inside by the Denver Broncos. It's going to be there.
Dorsett is in there with Preston Pearson now in the Dallas backfield. Dupree comes split left. They shift into the shotgun with Drew Pearson on the right side. Butch Johnson is also a wide receiver. And it's a 3-man rush, and Staubach's pass is on the money to Dorsett for a first down at the 40-yard line.
Good play. It was Dorsett going right down in between the 2 linebackers. Staubach looking for him all the way. He was watching the defense, and he drilled it right in the numbers.
Roger really got on top of that ball when he threw it.
Yeah, he threw it with a great deal of authority, and he threw it right at the numbers. It wasn't sailing on him, so if Dorsett, for some reason, didn't catch the football.
Watch how he gets up on top here when he makes the delivery.
Right, he's coming down. He's coming down. You see where the ball lands, too. Right on the numbers, right where you want it.
A first down at the 40-yard line. The inside handoff to Newhouse. They might have been keying on Dorsett. He runs for 11 yards.
That's what they're doing. I'm sure they're keying on Dorsett, because they know that he's going to get the football quite a few times this afternoon. They know also that he only needs a couple of yards to make 1,000 yards. They know that.
How do you think the Bears will do down here against the Cowboys?
Well, I think the Cowboys are going to have a problem with Mr. Walter Payton. Everybody else has had a problem with him, and today it was just unfortunate the condition of the field in New Jersey against the Giants was full of rust today.
And the Broncos against the Steelers?
I think it's going to be a great matchup.
No pick, huh? Out of the eye, Dorsett in the tailback spot. There he goes, and he's back to the point where he needs about 3 yards again. That 1,000 yards is tough to come by.
No.
We don't have any shadows from the bright sun, so we'll give you a look at the open air aspect of the stadium where the fans are under the cover, but the playing field itself is under the open Texas skies. The ball is to the 46-yard line. Lenny Dawson and Jack Buck with you from Dallas, and wishing you a happy holiday season, and hope you're enjoying this football game.
We do it then.
It is 2nd down and 8. 10 minutes left in this game. Here's the delay, and there goes Dorsett, and that's going to be it, folks. That's a foul, and the fans are on their feet. Tony Dorsett just made it 1,003. The fans are on their feet, and he becomes only the 8th rookie in the NFL to ever rush for 1,000 yards. And you got to like the kid because he does it with his mouth shut.
He's a tremendous football player, and you can see the appreciation by the fans at Texas Stadium here, all 60-some thousand standing up, giving him a standing ovation.
And you know why his teammates love him? He means money for them.
You better believe it. He was a man. He's going to get him into the playoffs. They're going to give him the football, I'm sure.
And he did it against the toughest defense in the American Football Conference.
Against the rush, they are number one. I'm talking about the Denver Broncos. He earned that yardage he got today. He's only got 46 yards. Took him 16 carries to get it.
The ball is at the 40-yard line. Staubach, 3rd down and 1. Gives it to Newhouse. He spun around and didn't get it. A fumble. And the ball is whistled dead. And it belongs to Denver. Newhouse coughed it up, and Denver has the ball. They trail by 8. We have 9:06 remaining in this football game. And evidently Lyle Alzado, the Pro Bowler, came away with this one as we watch.
Never got the ball. Never got the exchange. He's jumping up over top, and Roger never got the ball to Newhouse.
Clear the decks for Saturday and the doubleheader here on NBC with Pittsburgh at Denver in one of the games and Oakland playing at Baltimore or at Miami in the other game of the doubleheader. And there's the score with 3.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. New England 24, Baltimore 16. Running play to Dorsett. Jones hit Ray Chester with a 78-yard touchdown pass, but evidently they missed the extra point because it is 24-16 now, and they're 8 points behind. That was a big extra point if that score is absolutely correct. We'll try to find out what happened on that extra point play. Pick up a 4 that time by Dorsett. There are a couple of the quarterbacks. We saw Craig Morton at the outset. Penrose played some. Norris Weeson played most of all for the Broncos. Golden Richards is in there. There goes Newhouse. Boy, did they come after him, huh?
They all
hit. The final hit was by Steve Foley. We haven't had much chance to mention him today, the cornerback number 43.
They all hit. They all hit, and they hit very, very hard.
The extra point was blocked in that New England-Baltimore game. The score was 24-10 when Burt Jones hit Ray Chester with a 78-yard touchdown pass, but then the Baltimore extra point effort was blocked, and so they're still 8 points behind at the close of the 3rd quarter. And here it's 3rd and 8 Dallas with 6:38 remaining in the game. Staubach 14 out of 19, 153 yards, 1 intercepted, 2 touchdowns. Probably throwing here out of the shotgun on 3rd and 8. To the sideline, and not enough for a first down. A yard short as Preston Pearson caught it. Preston Pearson caught it under heavy pressure, but not enough for a first down. Staubach, if he had a bad shoulder earlier or a bad hand, doesn't have it now, Lenny, because he's throwing the ball very hard.
Yes, he is. He had a bad thumb on his throwing hand, and that's going to create a lot of problems because you can't grip the ball the way that you would like to. So you're going to lose a lot of the touch that you ordinarily have.
But he's got zing on it today, doesn't he?
Yes, he's stepping and throwing. That's the important thing. You know, he's utilizing his legs. Throwing a football, you utilize your legs as much or more so than your arm.
This is Danny White punting. In that last picture, you saw Mike Ditka. Maybe we can see him again. Whoa! White almost walked right into a block, and Upchurch takes it on the 6 and is drilled. He's back in the end zone, gets out, and he's down on the 1-yard line. Then he coughed up the ball, but the play had been whistled dead at the 1. Benny Barnes was standing right alongside him. Barnes could have caught the darn thing.
Well, you said earlier that Benny Barnes is always around the football, and he was around the football that time. This is not a good decision. He's inside the 10-yard line. He should never catch it. Should let that thing go.
Okay, now watch what happens. He's in the end zone. Fumble the ball. But they whistle the play dead. And Denver still has it with 6:18 remaining in the game. This is where they whistle the play dead.
Right here, Benny Barnes is right there. In the first place, he should never have caught the ball. It's a rule that inside the 10-yard line, you let the ball bounce and take your chances on it going into the end zone.
It was whistled dead at the 6-yard line. Perhaps the whistle was a little quick, but these officials try to protect the players as much as they can.
Once again, Benny Barnes did a tremendous job. He was right there waiting on the ball coming down.
Fans here booing the officials for blowing the whistle as they did as Weiss from the end zone throws it to the sideline, and it's good for a first down to Dalton, and he was covered by Kyle on the corner.
Covered fairly well too, and it's a good throw by Weiss. He got the ball out there with authority that time, and like we were talking about Roger Staubach a minute ago, throwing that football and utilizing his legs and stepping and throwing. That time, Norris Weiss did the same thing.
You saw Aaron Kyle. You get a cornerback who relegates Mel Renfro to second string. The kid's got to be good, right?
Well, he's taking over for a man who's been a tremendous quarterback for many, many years.
The ball is at the 18-yard line. First down pass. Going long out here, and it is one step too far for Upchurch, with Mark Washington trying to stay with him. That's the way Dallas was burned last Monday in that San Francisco
I'll
game.
tell you, that time Upchurch slipped a little bit. What he was trying to do, he was trying to do a little fake and go, and he did the fake, and when he started to go, he slipped a little bit. Otherwise, he might have been under that football.
He came into this game needing only a few yards to set a National League record for total yards and punt returns in 1 year. But he hadn't done that well in that department.
He hasn't had an opportunity. That's because of Benny Barnes. Benny Barnes has been sitting in his lap every time that he's been ready to catch the football.
There it is, second down and 10. 5.5 left in the game. Haven Moses is in motion. Weiss throws it out here, and it's caught by the tight end, Riley Odoms. He is ridden out of bounds by Charlie Waters.
That's a good play for Denver, and a good play for Norris Weiss, that he's going back in the pocket, inviting the defensive lineman back in that area. Then he's taking off to his right because he's right-handed and either running or throwing.
Odoms didn't make the Pro Bowl team, but what a great tight end he is, and what a wonderful person he is, according to the people who know him well.
He is a tremendous football player, and he has come up with a lot of big plays for the Denver Broncos over the years.
One of the premier tight ends in the game. He goes to the left side as Upchurch and Moses come right. Weiss is 9 out of 16 for 87 yards. 4:40 left in the game. The blitz is on. Weiss tried to run out of it and couldn't. And the play is still going. The play is still going. The play was not whistled dead till just now at the 26-yard line.
We used to do that on the sandlots when I was a kid, that type of a play. Yes, sir, because Norris Weiss was trying to scramble and there was nowhere to go because number 54 is Randy White. He is making sure he doesn't come around him. He's containing him inside, going back in the middle where the rest of his teammates are. But the whistle was not blown there, so he throws it to Lytle 41. Now, he should put the football away. First things first. He's stripped of it by Aaron Kyle right there, but it's not over yet, folks.
And now we have a Dallas player who is shaken up on the play, and that's the linebacker, Tom Henderson, who is being tended to. This Dallas team has played their offense and defensive #1 units all the way, and let's hope that this injury is not a serious one to Tom Henderson, their starting left linebacker.
I really don't understand why, both teams don't play all of their people, particularly when things are wrapped up.
Wait a minute. Now he is. He's got it.
He's in a sitting position. We have 4:11 remaining in the game. Broncos have the ball. They trail by 8, and they're faced with 4th and 2. 4th and a yard and a half. The Broncos are going for it from their own 26-yard line. With Lytle and Keyworth and Weiss throwing the ball out here, and it's caught by Odoms. First down for Denver at the 35. They keep the ball with 3:40 remaining.
Gutsy call on the part of the Denver Broncos. Play action pass, and they've got everybody's digging in, zeroing in. I'm talking about the Cowboys, so they're not really getting that much penetration. He did have plenty of time, and I said Odoms could come up with a lot of big plays for Denver. Once again, he did it, but he sure doesn't carry that ball the way it's supposed to be carried.
Cliff Harris put the final stop on the play. 3:20 left. Broncos have to score and score again. They trail by 8. Motion by the tight end, Egloff. Weiss pops it out here and threw it behind the intended receiver, Rob Lytle, and Brunig unloaded on him.
That's about the second or third time that somebody's thrown the ball Poor Rob Lytle, and they've thrown it behind him, and he has paid for it each time.
That's a nasty feeling to have to stop and reach back. You know you're going to get blasted.
So you know you're going to get nailed, and you're going to get nailed in the back or in alongside the head. You see right here, the ball is thrown behind, as you can see right here, and he knows right now.
Mel Renfro is now checked into the game for the Cowboys. That's the first time that we've seen him today. He's number 20. They put in the extra defensive back. Hughes, Renfro, Washington. Second down and 10. Four-man rush. Weiss goes down. Harvey Martin, Ed Jones, both got in there. Randy White followed.
Four-men rush. But when they know it's going to be a pass, they're going to let it all go, and they're coming after it. You can see number 72 is Ed Jones, and it just collapses. The pocket collapses. They never really run him by the quarterback, and he didn't have a chance.
3 minutes now. They stop the clock whenever there's a sack, and that was the fourth of the day for the Cowboys, giving them 53 for the year. Now the clock is running again with 2:50 remaining, and it's third down and 17. Incomplete. Cliff Harris almost picked it off, but he was out of bounds along with the intended receiver, Dalton, and Mark Washington was over there. And Washington is the one who got his hands on the ball, number 46. So it's fourth down, and now the Broncos, who gambled on 4th and 2, sent in their punting unit. And the Dallas defense is applauded by this big crowd of 63,000 here today. Bucky Dilts is kicking for the 8th time. Tony Hill is waiting for it. And you have to watch for the run here with 2:41 remaining. Now he kicks it. And all Dallas has to do is kill off about 2.5 minutes. Boy, there's a lot of running room over there. Bill tried to split the backs, but couldn't. He went across the 40-yard line.
Did a good job of running. Had he split it, he'd have had a really big game.
2:29 remaining in the game. Dallas has the ball and the lead. Speaking of Tom Henderson, who was injured earlier, walked off the field under his own power and appeared to be in good shape earlier. That's important for the Cowboys, who have the ball at their own 44. Send Dupree in motion and give the ball to Preston Pearson. Comes back the other direction and barely gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. The tackler was Barney Chavis. And by the way, they really picked us off by playing Staubach in the entire game.
Yes, sir. I'm really surprised.
Denver, on the other hand, played Craig Morton for only one series of downs, got him out of there, and he'll be ready now for the Pittsburgh game, which is next Saturday, part of the doubleheader here on NBC next Saturday afternoon in the AFC playoffs. 2 minutes left in this game. White shirt and with the mustache is Mike Ditka. His old team got into the playoffs today.
Yes, you know, he has really changed. He has really trimmed down. In fact, he'd be too light to play tight end today. He looks like a different person, but really looks great. He is from Tony Dorsett's school. It used to be, they said, from Mike Ditka's school. I'm talking about the University of Pittsburgh.
Here's the handoff to the up back and a fumble. It's picked up by Staubach, who's going to be tackled, bringing about third down and long. We saw Ditka. He was talking to White because Ditka coaches the special teams for the Cowboys. Now Baltimore, look at the difference in that blocked extra point.
Yes, sir.
They're behind by 1 point, and we have how much time remaining in that Baltimore game? I guess there's about 10 minutes left. Well, there's 11:27 remaining in that game, and Baltimore trails by a point.
They're not out of it yet. I can recall when they took on Miami, they were down to Miami. They came back in the second half to win that ball game.
Jones hit Freddie Scott with a touchdown pass to bring Baltimore back in that game. Meanwhile, we have 1:46 left, and it's 3rd and 12 Dallas.
Now, getting back to, you were talking about you're surprised, and so am I, that Staubach is still in there. Now, a play like that. Now, he got nailed again. Now, I know from past experiences, you don't have to get hit too frequently to be hurting and aching the next few days.
He's to the sideline talking with Tom Landry. Big crowd here today, 63,752. Actually a meaningless game, but the reason the people wanted to see it, and I'm sure the reason you folks are enjoying watching it on TV, is because these are tremendous teams with great personnel. They're both in the playoffs, and both might get to the Super Bowl.
And Tony Dorsett, a rookie, the 8th in the history of the National Football League, his rookie year, went over the 1,000-yard mark.
Drew Pearson comes to the left. Butch Johnson is to the right side. It's 3rd down and 12 for the Cowboys from their own 42. A flag is down. Pass is caught by Pearson. And we'll have to check the flag. Pearson appears to be a yard short. He is a yard short of a first down. And we'll check the flag here. 1:38 remaining. Motion against the Cowboys. It's going to be accepted by Denver and make it 3rd and 17. But Denver seems to be kicking a dead dog because they're 8 points behind in this game.
Not much they can do. The only thing they can do right now is just go after him. You know, all-out blitz and try to hope that somebody coughs up the football and they can get a quick, easy touchdown.
I wonder whatever happened to Pettis Norman down here in Dallas.
Who?
Oh, he used to drive me crazy. I used to call him Norman Pettis. So they called me Buck Jack down here in Dallas. They get tired of me.
I've heard him call you a lot of other things down here, too.
Illegal motion, 88 offense, 3rd down.
That was Drew Pearson with the illegal motion. It's 3rd down and 17 for Dallas. Dallas scored on a touchdown pass from Staubach to Preston Pearson. Herrera missed 3 field goals. They made it 14-0. 14-3 at the end of the 3rd quarter. 14-6 right now. And Preston Pearson does little, and Dallas will have to kick it. We have a final score. Pittsburgh, already in the playoffs, came from behind on a Durella field goal, 26 yards with 1:14 left in the 3rd quarter. They won that game over San Diego by the score of 10-9. And Pittsburgh will be playing at Denver next Saturday as part of our NBC doubleheader. We're going to have a complete wrap-up of the scores from this afternoon's NFL play, along with highlights and action interviews from the field on NFL 77 when our game is over here. There's the Pittsburgh final. They beat the Chargers.
You were asking about Pettis Norman?
Oh, yeah. He's still working here in town, huh?
Yes.
The ball at the 45-yard line. And a timeout. The Broncos have but 1 left. The Cowboys have 3 remaining.
I'd like to see Upchurch, for once this afternoon, get the football with a little breathing room.
I was looking forward to that because he is such an exciting kick return man, both punts and kickoffs.
The last time I saw the Denver Broncos, it was in Denver against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he had a tremendous afternoon.
But it was Billy Johnson who was named to the Pro Bowl team as the kick return man, and not Rick Upchurch, at whom we're looking right now. Upchurch is waiting for White's punt. And he'll kick it away from about the 35. It's a line drive, and Upchurch might do something with it. There's a flag thrown. And Upchurch is nailed around the 20-yard line. And we'll check the flag for you. The field judge, Ed Merrifield, threw it in a big, big hurry, as if he saw somebody coming downfield who shouldn't have been there.
Could be one of two things generally in that situation. Somebody leaving the line of scrimmage that should not be leaving the line of scrimmage.
Well, we had an illegal block, a cutback block, and it's against the Denver Broncos.
That outside man, you have to treat him as a receiver until that ball is kicked.
So that's going to allow the Dallas Cowboys to keep the football. That comes under the category of a personal foul and an automatic first down, and the Cowboys keep the ball with 1:17 remaining.
So what they're talking about, what happened, the end man on the line of scrimmage is a receiver, so you get one chuck at him in that 3-yard area. And if you hit him once, then leave him alone.
Well, while they're marking it off and giving the ball back to the Dallas Cowboys, let's listen to the referee.
Illegal cut, automatic first down.
Illegal cut, automatic first down. Dallas has the ball. Broncos this year calls in Perry Como, Mark Hamill of Star Wars, Olivia Newton-John, the Muppets, and the AP All-American Football Team to help them celebrate the holiday season. There's hope for Christmas at NBC on Monday evening December 19th from 8 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. The running play and the timeout is called, and now here comes the referee to the Denver sideline to tell the head coach, Red Miller, you are out of timeouts. That's what Jerry Markwright had just done. He's obligated to do that. In that Pittsburgh game, there's Red Miller. Terry Bradshaw got kicked in the jaw, causing a neck injury. How serious the injury is unknown at the moment. He went to the hospital for x-rays, and whether or not he'll be there when the Steelers play at Denver next Saturday, we don't know, but knowing him,
It's one of the reasons I was saying about playing somebody who has an injury problem. You know, why take a chance? Once the situation was that they were going to be involved in the playoffs, you know, perhaps it happened earlier. I don't know, but the thing to do is get him out of there.
Okay, no more timeouts for Denver, so Staubach just fouls on the ball, and the Broncos won't be able to do anything about it, and our final score is going to be 14-6. And so, Dallas will have matched the Broncos for the best record in football with a mark of 12-2 in winning the Eastern Division, and Denver sustains their second loss. They split with Oakland, so this loss to Dallas is their second of the year, 12-2. But nonetheless, they have won the Western Division of the AFC. They'll host the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll have one more snap of the ball. The one thing Staubach doesn't want to do is cause a penalty and stop the clock. So one more snap, and that'll be it. Dorsett had a good day.
Yes, he did. Now, they were looking for the 1,000-yard mark. He needed 43 going in. He had 17 carries, 50 yards. A rookie gained over 1,000 yards, 1,007 yards for Tony Dorsett.
And the theme song for these two teams is Till We Meet Again. And it very well could be in the Super Bowl in New Orleans. There's Red Miller. We congratulate him on a great season, and Tom Landry likewise. And there's the final score. The Cowboys have defeated the Broncos here today by the score of 14-6 before a big crowd of 63,000 at Texas Stadium. So it's on to the playoffs, and it'll be Saturday for Denver and Monday for these Cowboys. The final score 14-6. Jack Buck and Lenny Dawson speaking from Irving, Texas. A reminder that NBC will be bringing you the exciting AFC playoff doubleheader next Saturday, the 24th. Super Bowl champion Oakland, we don't know their opponent yet, and Denver against Pittsburgh. And now, stay tuned for NFL 77, a complete wrap-up of today's NFL play. And you'll see NFL 77 after these messages from your local station.